Welcome. I am Pramay Nitin Barangre, roll number 1980S01. Today we will be looking at the world weather report of 6 to 12 January 2020. So let's begin. Let's talk about India first. There were two western disturbances in India this week. First one intensified with fresh moisture from Arabian Sea on 6 January. Under its influence, widespread rain and snow was observed over western Himalaya with isolated heavy falls over Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh on 7th and 8th January, as we can see from the picture. Isolated thunderstorms and lightning along with hailstorms were also observed in some parts of northern India, although it decreased significantly by 9th January. As it moved towards east, Central and East India also received some showers on 9 January. Another western disturbance brought light scattered precipitation over western Himalaya region on 11 January and fairly wide to widespread on 12 January. Southern India, as we can see from the picture, also received some heavy showers on 7 January 2020. Let's talk about Asia now. We can see from the picture here that there was a lot of heavy rainfall throughout the week in Indonesia, which caused floods in Jakarta, West Java, Banten and the Sumatra Islands. At least 66 people were reported killed and 60,000 were displaced in the worst flooding in the area since 2007. The heavy rains were triggered by a convergence of wind patterns. Winds blowing from the northeast of Java met the moist winds from the Indian Ocean to the south, which led to the formation of massive rain producing clouds. Additionally, high temperatures increased the amount of water vapor in the air. Heavy showers were also observed in Southeast China, which pushed the rains to South Korea and Japan. We can see a picture here of the floods in Indonesia. Also, there was a cold wave in Dhaka since 7 January. Dhaka recorded as low as 11.6 degrees Celsius on 7 January. The severe weather condition continued till 10 January in Bangladesh. We can see here a picture of the cold wave in Bangladesh. People were suffering a lot. Let's talk about volcano Tal now. An eruption began at Tal volcano located in Philippines on 12 January. The eruption was designated as phreatomagmatic, which means that not only hot magma was involved in the eruption, but it was also a partial steam explosion. As water came into contact with the molten rock under the volcano, which caused high pressure. The ash column, which we can see from the picture here, reached nearly 15 km high and has caused ashfall in Manila, which is the capital city of Philippines. The ash column was very dense, enough to cause large amount of volcanic lightning inside the eruption column. Air traffic was cancelled around the volcano and further north as the ash cloud were carried north by the prevailing winds. Two earthquakes shook the region prior to the eruption, along with many smaller tremors. A magnitude 2.5 and a magnitude 3.6 earthquake were felt in the nearby areas. Let's travel southwards and talk about Australia. In Australia this week there were two cyclones. The first one was Cyclone Blake. On 6 January, it began as a tropical low that formed off the northwest Australia. It developed into a tropical cyclone on 6 January. Uh, from the track we can see that it moved southwards and for a brief period of approximately 6 hours weakened the cyclone Blake slightly, but it still remained a category 1 cyclone. It developed again after moving offshore, and during this period roads were cut off due to heavy flooding in this region around Broome. Then it traveled parallel to the Kimberley coast and then finally made the landfall on 7 January near the Wallal Downs. The remnant tropical cyclone tracked west and then south through the eastern Pilbara, resulting in heavy rainfall and flooding here. The heavy flooding led to major flooding in numerous tributaries of De Grey River, and there was widespread road closures. Unfortunately, this didn't bring enough rainfall to the wildfires in the southeastern parts of Australia. This cyclone Blake had maximum category of 1 and the lowest center pressure around was 986 HPA, whereas the maximum wind gusts were around 100 kilometers an hour. Talking about Cyclone Claudia now, it began as a tropical low that formed on 5th January in the Arafura Sea here. From the track we can see that the low tracked towards southeast, then turned west-southwest, crossing the Northern Territory coast of Australia on 8 January. Then the tropical low remained below tropical cyclone intensity as it tracked westwards on 10 January before moving further west into the Timor Sea. Intense rainfall was recorded in this region of Australia. The low continued to move westwards north of the Kimberley coast of Western Australia into the Indian Ocean, where it intensified into a Category 1 tropical cyclone on 12 January. It continued to move into the Indian Ocean, where it became a Category 3 cyclone. It continued till 15 January. We can see that the maximum category it attained was Category 3. The maximum sustained wind speeds were around 140 kilometers an hour, whereas the maximum wind gusts were around 195 kilometers an hour. The lowest center pressure went up to 969 hectopascals. We can see a satellite picture of Cyclone Claudia here. Let's talk about the Australian bushfires, which were in news for a long time. The wildfires in Australia continued, which began in September 2019. More than 60,000 square kilometers of land has already been burned, whereas the wildfires are still expanding. We can see from the picture here the wildfires which are still going on. Hot, dry weather combined with ongoing drought and strong winds continue to create the perfect conditions for the fire to spread quickly. It was the third warmest January on record for Australia as a whole. The northerly winds brought some very high temperatures across parts of southeastern Australia. Smoke from these Australian wildfires has crossed the South Pacific Ocean and was detected in some parts of Argentina and Chile. From the satellite images, we can see various low pressure systems uh, which are denoted by white curls of cloud cover along with some wildfire smoke. There were multiple smoke plumes, one of which traversed the Pacific Ocean to South America, and another thick plume which traveled to close to New Zealand. This second plume has brought orange skies over New Zealand this weekend. Let's talk about South America now. We can see from the picture here that there was a heavy showers in the central and northern parts of South America. It caused floods and landslides in some areas of Peru, Colombia, and Brazil. Colombia reported that flooding from the Unguia River and its tributaries has affected 1,200 families. Also, northern Colombia levels of the San Jorge River are above danger levels. Peru National Emergency Operations Center also reported that 300 families have been affected by flood. We can see a picture here of floods in Colombia. Thunderstorms and lightning were also reported throughout the week in central and northern parts of South America. There was also rainfall in south of Chile in throughout the week. For the rest of the week, rest of South America looked dry. Let's travel north now and talk about North America. Two major storms on 7th and 8th January, along with heavy winds and snow, buried parts of Newfoundland in Canada under a thick blanket of snow. We can see a picture here of the heavy blanket of snow over Newfoundland in Canada. Widespread uh, heavy falls of snow were recorded there. Wind speeds were also reported at up to 80 kilometers an hour across the province. The system was also responsible for cancelled flights, vehicle collisions, and power outages in that region. There was also heavy rains in the northwest US with a cold front moving. Onshore, there were a few strong thunderstorms for the region of Oregon and Washington. Central America also received some snow and rainfall in the week, as we can see from the picture here. Uh, Whereas above average temperatures were observed across the Great Lakes and Northeast America. About tornadoes, there were a lot of tornadoes on 10th and 11th January. An eastward moving trough tracked across the continental US through that 2-day period. Combined with abundant moisture, instability and wind shear, it promoted formation of a long-lived squall line. There were three tornadoes, an EF1 category in Texas, an EF2 category in northern Louisiana, and an EF2 category in western Alabama, which produced massive damage. We can see a picture here from the damage caused by these tornadoes. In total, there were 80 tornadoes confirmed. Uh, Here is a picture which states the category and the number of cyclones in that category recorded according to the Fujita scale rating, which is used to measure the category of tornado in the US. Let's travel eastwards and talk about Europe now. There were torrential rains that battered Turkey for days since 6 January, disrupting daily life in parts of the country as the downpour sparked widespread flash floods and landslides. Many roads were closed due to the heavy snow. Severe weather conditions also caused travel delays and power outages, which briefly disrupted metro services in Istanbul. Strong winds up to 110 kilometers an hour also whipped across the province. We can see a picture of Turkey being affected due to the floods. Also, there was heavy rain and snowfall in the eastern Mediterranean due to a low pressure system, especially in the Alps and in Greece in the start of the week. There was also heavy snowfall in the Scandinavian countries especially Norway and Sweden, with cold and windy weather throughout the week. Central Europe also witnessed mostly cold and dry conditions throughout the week. About Storm Brandon, it was a violent winter storm that was present across the North Atlantic on 7 January as a very strong and intense cyclone, which significantly deepened overnight. The central pressure was around 940 millibar on 7 January. The cyclone's center was over Iceland. Central pressure fell continuously while the system drifted northeast. To the south of this center, very powerful winds were pushing major 15-meter waves over towards the Faroe Islands. It is very likely to hit the east coast of UK and Ireland by 13 January, bringing a lot of heavy showers and snow in the western UK and Ireland. We can see a picture of Storm Brandon in the Atlantic on 7 January near the UK. At last, let's talk about Africa and the Middle East. From the 24-hour precipitation, we can see that there was a lot of rainfall in central and southern parts of Africa. There was also some rainfall in central Sahara on 11th and 12th January, and Egypt also received some rainfall in the start of the week. A downpour lasting 12 hours caused deadly flash flooding in the province of Luanda in Angola on 6 January. Many houses were damaged and at least 200 were families were displaced by the floods in the city of Sumbe in Kwanza Sul province. Here is a picture of floods in Angola. We can see how dangerous these floods were. Talking about the Israel floods now. Storms slammed central and northern Israel for over a week as two storm systems hit the country one after the other. It resulted in widespread flooding in cities and rivers. The rain was so intense that the city of Tel Aviv received 20% of its yearly rainfall in just 2 hours. The rainfall broke 51-year-old record. Several areas received rainfall amounts in days that surpassed the average for a month and some regions even for a season. Homes, vehicles, and infrastructure were left badly damaged. On 9 January, the Sea of Galilee rose by 23 centimeters in just 24-hour period. Several roads were blocked as the flooding caused havoc. We can see a picture of the havoc created by the floods. Roads were damaged, the roads were also closed, and infrastructure was damaged badly. Also, there was heavy snow in Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, and Syria. Saudi Arabia's northern western province of Tabuk received a lot of snowfall on 9 January. We can see a picture of the snowfall in Tabuk. Other parts of Middle East also were struck by severe weather with rain in UAE, hailstorms in Alexandria, Egypt, and rain and snowstorm in Lebanon and Syria. That's all for the World Weather Report of 6 to 12 January. Thank you.